Hey everyone, it is that time again, you lucky people. We are on episode 6, I think it is the Killer Comic Show. I was on a stream at 4 a.m. this morning with White Whale Comics and also John's Comics with Kids. So massive thanks for them for having me on. So I'm dosed up on coffee, dosed up on Red Bull, got the water, ready to talk comics. I've got a fellow YouTuber, Instagrammer, Harley Quinn fanatic. If I'm being honest, I think this is the first person I've met who is a bigger fanboy of Harley Quinn than myself. So if you want to find out what we're going to be talking about, stay tuned. And here he is, the man of the moment. How you doing, Shane? Dawn of Comics.
Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well, mate. I'm very good, thank you. I feel like it's an absolute privilege to have you on the show because you are the first person in the comic book community in the UK that shops at the same comic book shop as me.
A place in space.
So this is a first appearance.
Yes.
It is a key issue.
You're not going to fall asleep during this, are you?
Do you know what? Look, I'm dosed up. I've got my water. I've got my coffee. I'm all good. I'm copying how they do it in the States. Like they've always got like Red Bull, coffee, water, everything. So I thought, why not just jump straight in and just go for it? So first things first, do you just want to say a bit about your Instagram page, your YouTube and everything? And I'll drop the link. And I think it works like this. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to drop the link and then people can click on it. They can find out what you're about, what you're into. And hopefully you can get some followers, some Instagram comments and more people out there that enjoy comics as much as we do.
Yeah, so I just started my channel pretty much to talk out loud because I don't really have anyone to talk to about comics. My friends and family, they smile and nod, but they don't really care when I speak to them about comics. So I'm all on my own. So I thought it'd just be a way for me to speak out loud. Mm-hmm. So I'm not holding everything in, and if anyone watches, that's great. And I just show my collection. I do some unboxing videos of little cheap figures that I get from B&M mostly, because B&M is fantastic.
B&M's wicked. It is awesome.
Crazy what you could get in there for a £5.
Like my wife has been dying to go there since lockdown started. Like since it was lifted, she's been like, "Oh, let's go there." But we got the 3 kids, so we're trying not to like go out and do stuff. But I was after a Funko Pop, the Star Wars. I think is where C-3PO meets an Ewok, and it was going for £15 on Pop in a Box. They had it for £5 in B&M.
Did you get it?
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah.
I got someone on a Facebook group to get it for me, and then I had to pay like £3 shipping. So win-win.
Yeah.
And the wife is still dying to go there, so I think I might treat her at the weekend.
But it's crazy as well because you'll pick something up from B&M for the price on the shelf, and when you get to the counter, it's even lower. Yeah. So I've got quite a few figures from there for a £5, so absolutely adore it. Yeah, so I think obviously I follow you on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, and I will know that you are an avid Harley Quinn fan. You really are. Bit of a fanboy, yeah. I went a bit crazy when I first got into Harley. Yeah, I didn't get into her until Gotham City Sirens came out.
Yep.
And I absolutely loved that run. Everything from the artwork to the story. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love with Harley, so I went back and got her entire run. And now, I think just last year I completed my collection of every single pre-New 52 appearance of Harley Quinn.
Wow.
So I have every comic she's ever been in or appeared on the cover of or has just had her costume in the background. So I've got every single appearance. So
you've gone all out.
Yeah, I went a bit crazy. eBay was my friend for a long time.
I can imagine. So I mean, so I think we're here. It's week 35, and it's been a really big week. I was looking forward to this since about week 32 when we found out what the pre-releases and previews and everything were. I've been really looking forward to this, and I think you would have been as well, considering that. Yes, the holy grail that some people might call it has finally come out. It's taken 30 years. It is obviously Batgirl 48 That's what we're talking about. No, it's not really. It's obviously Batman and 3 Jokers. I think everyone knows that by now. But obviously, we're going to talk about 3 or 4 different comics, and then we will save the best to last, and then we'll talk about 3 Jokers because I know you're eager to talk about it. So what comic should we start with? We've got Batman 48. Batgirl 48, we've got Suicide Squad, we've got DCeased Hope at World's End, and then obviously we've got Joker. So you are the guest on the show. If you would like to choose, and we can go from there.
I'd like to start with DCeased.
Okay, right, there we go.
One of my looking forward to each week digital downloads for that.
So yeah, so obviously this is a digital first from DC. I think they all kind of picked it up when the digital downloads, it all kind of started when we was in COVID, when everyone was in lockdown. I think it was their way of tapping into a market that if you don't have Comixology, if you haven't got a DC reading platform and you're not a fan of Marvel or anything, this was their way to jump into it. And I think they kind of smashed it out of the park with this, because this has been, was you a lover of DCeased, like the main story?
100%. I grabbed all the covers. When I was in New York, I even bought the Midtown variant covers for it. I absolutely loved it. From start to finish, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's some talk about it not being a great comic. Like with all I think there was like 7 or 8 different writers and drawers on the first issue. So it did kind of blow you away, and you're like, oh, really? But I loved it. I really did enjoy it. And I think DCeased Hope at World's End, the fact that it tells the story of what's happening with like the pandemic and everything, it tells that from the different perspective of all the different characters dealing with it. I just thought this was great.
I think what I love most about the DC's universe is that the creators can do what they want. There's no limits. They don't have to keep everyone alive. They don't, no one has to win a fight. So you don't know what's happening. It's like the Injustice universe. And with what I will say about DCeased Hope at World's End is some of the chapters have been a little bit. I mean, they're all good. I'm not going to lie. It's just the drama is sort of negated a little because some of the characters don't die.
Yeah.
In the fights that they're having at the moment, because that they don't die till later on, because it's more of a prequel tie-in. So some of the bits you're like, as it doesn't have the same punch, like. I think last issue when you had Black Adam about to attack Wonder Woman, and that she's going to be fine because that's not how her story ends. But overall, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And this issue especially was just a bit of hope at World's End. This one was hope, where all the others have just been dark.
It definitely was. And I think the fact that I like the way that each individual story is about an individual character. So we've seen it from, I think the first one, DCeased Hope at World's End, was Jimmy, Superman's best friend, and then obviously we went on to, I think, did we have Red Hood?
Red Hood's from Unkillables.
Unkillables.
I
get confused. See what I mean? There it is behind me.
Yeah, I need to replace these with all those zombie covers because they are fantastic.
They were the only ones I wanted to actually get. I mean, I found that comic much better than the DCeased mainline. But then this one is really honestly, really did like it. And I like the fact that it was like all animal orientated this time around. It was like obviously about Bobo, the super detective. And then obviously we've got Crypto, and it was wicked. I mean, from start to finish.
Yeah. I mean, when you see, when they get to Comet and they're saving the girl, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but when they get scratched, your heart does sort of, you skip a beat because you don't want, I mean, as much as we don't want the people to get hurt, when it comes to animals, we're even more protective. Yeah. So we didn't want anything to happen to them. But to know that animals can't turn, that's a really interesting twist.
And that's what I thought was really good about this, because obviously at the front of it says there was a girl who lost a horse, it fell, and when it fell, it was broken. I instantly just thought, right, well, her and the horse are going to die at the end. That's it. But then
foreshadowing.
Exactly. And it was just, it didn't happen. And I was like, all right, we're on to a winner here, because as you mentioned at the start, DCeased can do what they want. If they want to kill someone, they will. If they want to keep them, they will. And I just like the fact that if you notice in near enough every single page, there's either someone in the background or there's Bobo. I mean, I think on this page there's someone running for the coach there. Then in the next there's a zombie. So it's always like you're always telling the story of a single person, but there's always someone lurking in the background, knowing that shit's about to go down.
Yeah, any panel, anyone can be taken out in any panel. It can come from, it could be a big splash page, or it could be a tiny little panel in the corner.
Oh, he's gone. Are you back, Shane?
Oh, did I go?
Yes, you went. I don't know where you went.
Oh, sorry.
I said shit's about to go down and you disappeared. I was like, oh my God. Oh no.
Yeah, so I was just saying that with DCeased, it can be a splash panel that takes you out, or it can be a tiny little panel in the corner.
Yeah.
And no one's paying attention to it. It's just, you're just on edge when you read every issue. And even more so than this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just, like, the zombie theme is very much in the forecourt of comics at the moment. We've got the likes of The Walking Dead, the coloured, the full-blown colours that are coming out now. That's been redone by Rob Kirkman. You've got DCeased, you've got Marvel Zombies by In-Hyuk Lee and Philip Kennedy Johnson. That's coming out. So again, that's another variant, like Marvel type of thing coming from zombies and stuff. So it's all kind of, they're all going towards the same path. But the way that DCeased are doing this with the different elements coming in and different points of view and the different stories, do you think there's too much of it going on? Like, you've got DCeased Unkillables, you've got DCeased, you've got DCeased Hope at World's End. Do you think there's too many all going on at once?
No, I think I am enjoying it because there's so much, because you don't have to read it all. You can just read the main 6 issues, and then you can read the new one if you want. If you want to start reading the new one. But I like the fact that these issues and Unkillables are happening either previously or at the same time, so you get to see what's happening to the other characters, because they're not going to be able to put everyone's character or everyone's favorite character in a book. So to have a side book that does feature your favorite character, at least you get to see what happens to them. And I'll take as much of this as I can get.
I mean, honestly, I think if you haven't read DCeased, like the main story, or you haven't read DCeased Unkillables, you can just jump straight into this comic. You don't, like, if you're watching this on a repeat and everything, you're not going to miss out on anything. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a comic that there are going to be spoilers on the show, but I wouldn't say this is a comic where the spoilers that do happen aren't really that, it doesn't really give too much of the story away.
No.
If you see what I mean. I think if you was to do that in DCeased, obviously, if you haven't read that by now, you've either been living under a rock, or you've decided not to read it, which I don't know why you would have done that. But I mean, one of the big things at the end was obviously Superman kaput, Wonder Woman kaput, and it's kind of like these are characters that we thought were immortal, that we thought were untouchable.
Well, they took Batman out in the first issue.
Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of like, that's the shock that I want to see from DC, is that, right, one of the main characters, the main character of DC, Batman, boom, gone, see you later, mate. And it's kind of like, but even in this, I mean, let's be honest, Bobo isn't really a big, massive character. He's probably more focused on, he does more of the story with like John Constantine and stuff, doesn't he, with like Zatanna and everything like that. So this is probably one of the first comics I've actually read with him in it, and I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think he was more in it just so that we could have the communication between Ace, Crypto, and Comet, because he can talk to them. So I think he was just there as the translator. So I think the book would have worked just as well without him, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's great to see him.
But do you know what I noticed on this? I'm looking at this now, and I read Red Hood Outlaw number 40. I think it's number 48 or 47. One of them, I was reading it. It came out yesterday, and I was reading it today. And this page, this panel at the bottom here, this one here, is exactly the same as when Jason Todd is looking. If you haven't read Red Hood Outlaw yet, this is exactly, it's literally a like-for-like panel of when Jason goes back to his old orphanage. And it's kind of like, honestly, if when we finish this stream, have a look at it and message me and see if you can see the similarities, because it's kind of like, I'm pretty shocked at how it is. It's literally, I'm looking at it now, it's literally like for like. And instead of looking at an archway like Bobo is here, he's literally looking at a door frame entering his old orphanage. So I don't know, are like, obviously I know like all the worlds are like all entwined and there's like multiverses and stuff like that, but I can't see Bobo entering an orphanage and having a cup of tea with Red Hood.
No, but I mean, he's following the trail of Ace, so maybe Ace was following the trail of Red Hood.
I think that could be, because obviously we're going to get onto it in Batgirl 48, but it all does pinpoint into this arc. So if they're all following something's got to lead somewhere. So I don't know if these comics are going to combine. I don't know if they're all going to come into one big DCeased epic finale where everyone dies, apart from Bobo.
Oh. And
wouldn't that be ironic though? Is that obviously we evolved from chimps and then the world ends and then Bobo starts again. I am Caesar kind of escapade type of thing.
Yeah, it could be how. I can't remember his name. What's the name of the lad that's the only human left on the planet? He's got a lion friend and what's his name? That's really bad. Commandy.
Come on, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
DCeased could be leading to the world of Commandy. It could be just animals left and then one sole survivor.
Because my only thing with this is that obviously while all this is going on, all the superheroes and everything, they cleared Earth and they flew off, didn't they? So they left this. Now, what I want to know is, where was Bobo when all this was happening? Because why wasn't he on that original plane or rocket and stuff like that? Because I know they was all doing different stuff, but surely they would have just thought, shit, there's a rocket I need to be in, I'm going to go and get in it.
He might have been with John Constantine. They went on a mission in a one-shot, didn't they? When everyone died. So maybe he was somewhere there. Or maybe he's been in the Tower of Fate. Or
maybe he knows that he can't be infected and just thought, well, I don't have to leave my planet, why should I?
Yeah,
because
true.
I mean, the thing that I really did like about this is that the way that I think you hit the nail on the head. He's there to act as the go-between between the animal and the girl. And I think it's really cool that you see, even in this time of need, animals are there for us.
Yeah.
It really is true, honestly. Like when the world has literally got nothing left, it's down on his knees, this girl has found a dog and they've become like the best of friends already. And I think with the fact that as the story progresses, you see their relationship build, and you see him like talking to Ace saying, look, I'm not going to hurt her, we're going to find a way out of this. And as the story progresses,
comic with the girl, that panel's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
He just shielding her.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, who is that? Is she alive? Is she another superhero? I thought, is she another superhero? Like, obviously, she's got the red boots on. It looks like she's got yellow leggings on. I thought, is this going to be another superhero? Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
No. But he just laid over her so that they couldn't get to her. It's just so... Gets you right in the field. It
does. And honestly, when I initially see that and I see the horse getting scrapped, I'm like, the horse is dead. And that's when it only hit me that I was like, animals can't turn. Because obviously
the explanation for it.
Yeah.
That the virus was created by gods, and gods are so up themselves that they don't think that animals are sentient.
Yeah. That was probably one of the best comments from Bobo. I'm going to try and find that now. Oh, here it was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. He said the obvious thing to do would have been stick it in mosquitoes. That would have been it. But I mean, I think overall, like the way that this comic pans out and stuff like that, it wasn't my best read of the week. I did read it, and I've kind of been reading the DCeased, like Hope at World's End, and the other ones that have been floating around. I've kind of been reading them as fillers just to keep up with the story, because I think there is going to be a point in it where it does tie into the main DCeased, like the whole version of things like that. So I kind of don't want to miss anything. But I mean, I am enjoying it. It's different points of view from different characters that you wouldn't really think would have been part of this. It's kind of the flip side, isn't it? We've gone from loving the superheroes for them saving the planet, and now we're reading stories about the villains turning good to create good, and then yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. But
I think
it wasn't.
one other panel really got me was when Crypto and Ace interact for the first time, and he
Where
asks
was
him
that?
if he's still guarding, and he says yes, and he calls him a good dog. I thought that was pretty cool.
Where was that? Is that at the beginning?
No, that's towards the end when Crypto shows up, because they're all surrounded and they're about to get
Oh,
killed.
here we go. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, still
And he says,
guarding, still
yeah,
guarding.
good dog. Oh, I thought that was awesome.
See, I would have liked it if it said still shielding, because obviously people have got COVID, they're still shielding. I thought that would have been quite a good. That would have been quite a good thing. I think Taylor missed out on the thing there. We could have just said, yeah, still shielding, and they could have been wearing masks. That could have been pretty good. I thought at least Bobo could have been wearing a mask.
Yeah,
I might go into Photoshop. I might Photoshop a mask on him and just see where it goes. But I mean, don't get me wrong. It was kind of like, it was a good story, but it was just all about animals. I wanted to see some action involving some of the heroes left. I mean, who else is there left? You've got Bobo, you've got John Constantine has been in one, Zantana's been in one.
There's not many left in the pre.
There's not, is there?
5 years for the Dead Earth.
Yeah.
So on the Earth at the moment, there's not many left.
There's not, is they? Because they literally. What happened at the end? At the end of Dead Earth. Yeah, at the end of Dead Earth, Superman was attacked by Wonder Woman, wasn't he?
Yes, and killed Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
So Dinah went to kill Wonder Woman, and Superboy's jumped in front.
Stabbed Superboy.
Yeah, and killed Wonder Woman. So they've taken Ollie to the garden.
Yeah.
But Poison Ivy won't let Ollie in because he's done. But Cyborg has said there's a cure, so they're looking for that now. And if there is a cure, what does that mean for all the hundreds of thousands of people they've killed?
Exactly.
If they cure Superman, he's going to go crazy.
He will, because
he live with himself after all the people that he's killed.
Exactly. And but Crypto was with Superboy in one of them. He was with him in the first issue, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was with him in the original run. They fight Superman together in space.
Yeah, yeah.
So Crypto has obviously come back, whereas John went back onto the ship. So I don't know what happened there. We might find out.
See, that's what I'm saying about reading the comics, because I didn't want to miss anything, and it's clearly like Crypto's come from somewhere. Has he left Superboy as the fight was kicking off with Wonder Woman?
This could be before.
Yes, it could be. Yeah,
because they're not actually giving us a timeline when the issue starts. They're not saying like 6 months or 6 minutes before or anything like that.
Yeah, the only one they did that on was with what was the one we were just talking about? DCeased.
The Unkillables.
The other one. The one we was literally just talking about 2 seconds ago. Dead Earth. That one they say has happened 5 years in the future, haven't they? So,
yeah. But this must be taking place after after everyone left on the ships, because they go to Poison Ivy's Enchanted Forest.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
So this has got to be set after issue 6 of DCeased, but before Dead Earth.
So so this is like a point in between where they're all living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there's your hope at World's End.
There it is. The calm before the storm. So, I mean, as I mentioned, right, I mean, if you're a DCeased fan, I don't really think you're going to miss too much with this issue. Let's be honest. It was on my list to read. I read it. I enjoyed it. I've been following the stories. I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to, like, if anyone was to release any spoilers on it, I'd be like, oh no, what have you done? You've kind of ruined my week.
Oh no, this is a chapter you can skip if you don't want it, if you're not interested in the animal DCU. So,
but that's the only thing I haven't really liked about Hopes at World End, is that I know they're one shots and I know they all tie in together, but you could probably just pick up any one of them and just start reading it, and you're not missing out on anything that's happened beforehand. No.
And if you do, I think the only one that was a 2-parter was the Airy and Wink.
Yeah, it was the Airy and Wink.
First in Black Adam. So you had that first issue ended with Wonder Woman holding up the building, and then Black Adam showed up, and then the second issue was them dealing with Black Adam. So that would be the only 2-parter.
And I think you have literally just led straight on that was flawless, Shane. That was flawless. So I think on that we literally might as well just jump straight into. Hold on, I'm just trying to find my screen here. Yeah. So where are we? Right. Let's do Suicide Squad, because you talked about the Wink. There she is.
Yeah.
On the front cover with our favourite one and only Harley Quinn. But I mean, I'm really loving Suicide Squad. I'm loving like the first issue of when we found out there was like that Ted Core took over Task Force X is no more. There's new members to the Suicide Squad. I was loving this, and do you know what I really liked? This is kind of now tying in to the reveal of the new film that was done on DC Fandom. Like there's all different characters coming in and everything. So I've got to say, I love Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this run. I did phase out a bit with the Rebirth Suicide Squad. That sort of went a bit downhill. New 52 was great, and then Rebirth not so much. But this new series, I've really been enjoying it. I think my main reason for liking this series is Harlequin is not a massive joke like she usually is. She's not played for laughs all the time. She's not stupid. She's not an airhead. She's actually smart, and she's calculating, and she's more like the Harlequin I know and love. Yeah,
and I think I love the fact that there's still little snippets in there of her humour, her witty one-liners and stuff like that we see from the there's more to her. She's kind of like, she knows that she's got to own this crew because Deadshot's gone off on one. He's kind of like trapped in two minds. Like I thought in the last issue when he's literally the issue before where he's just waiting for an Uber with Batman.
Oh, that was brilliant.
I was like, this fantastic. Is just and the fact that they said Uber as well, I was like, this is awesome.
That was fantastic. He's just like, do you want me to call you an Uber? And Batman just wanted to punch him in the face. It was fantastic because Wink stole his Batmobile, didn't she?
Yeah, and it was just the way they were just standing there. He's like, do you want me to call you an Uber? I thought that was awesome. But this story, so obviously we found out, as a recap, that Ted Cord has taken over the Suicide Squad Task Force X. Amanda Waller is no more. It was, who was it that owned? So Ted Cord owns, he's running the show. He owns Task Force X and everything. But who was it that took after from Amanda Waller? It was some. I
can't remember his name. He was a creep. He was really weird.
He was an absolute dick,
wouldn't he? And he was enjoying like being zapped and stuff. He was a right creep. I can't remember.
They
killed him, didn't they?
He's out the picture, he's gone, and then it's literally, this is the aftermath of everything that's been happening to that Task Force X. Why can't I say it? It's probably because I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. Task Force X have all come together, they've all united, and they are on a absolute rebellious, revengeful mission to kill Ted Cord, who used to be the Blue Beetle.
Yes, what happened? What have they done to him? Like, in this universe, has he ever been the Blue Beetle? Is there any mention of him being the Blue Beetle?
See, this was my main thing. So, like, for the hardcore fans out there, they would have known that the Blue Beetle was changed over numerous amount of times, and then Ted Cord, was Blue Beetle, and then now all of a sudden he's sitting up there like jack of all trades, owning everything.
He's acting more like Lex Luthor.
Exactly, and how has he come in to being the owner of Task Force X? Why must I just call him Suicide Squad? That's it.
He said he purchased them from the government. So, I mean, he must have some serious cash.
He's got. I mean, he's a playboy billionaire, but is he like
a bad guy now? They've really turned him into a bad guy. There's no hero there. I mean, Booster Gold was just weak for him.
Exactly, and I think Greyman just literally said, the guy we were trying to think of, Greyman, I don't think it was Mr. Bones.
No, Mr. Bones is a Batwoman villain, is he not?
Yes.
Yeah. No, this
Peacemaker. It wasn't Pete. What was his name?
No, he just had a name, didn't he? He was just a guy. He was just a guy in a suit that just thought he could take on Amanda Waller.
I think we should just call him Roger.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call him Roger.
Yes, Roger.
So Roger was a dick.
100%. Got what he
100%. It was indeed. And I've got to say, I'm like, Suicide Squad for me it's just everything I love about comics. There's superheroes trying to be villains. There's villains trying to be superheroes. They're trying to do good against doing evil. And it just all comes together in this issue. And what I really like is that this issue is all about the Airy, and it's all about Wink and how they started, how they got together, how they broke out, how they kind of formed this relationship that's kind of, for me, it's kind of like the same relationship as Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Like, obviously, we've seen them share a kiss and stuff like that, but is it more than friendship? Is it not?
I think I take it that they're in a relationship. I think Airy and Wink are in a 100% committed relationship. Especially when they're constantly saying, "I would never leave you. I'll always be there. I'll always catch you." That sort of thing. It's more than friendship with those two. And the kiss is a lot more passionate than. I mean, I don't kiss my friends that passionately.
That's just me then. But yeah, no. I mean, I think if you look at the Harley Quinn TV show, there's a few times. I mean, she slept with Poison Ivy about 3 times. Yeah,
they've. I'm not a fan of that, if I'm honest.
I mean, I think it's always been a thing. I think it's always been.
They do have their moments. They have mentioned that they have done things now and then, but I don't want them in a relationship. I like their friendship.
Yeah, and I think they work. I think once they mix business with pleasure, it all goes wrong. But in Suicide Squad, it's kind of like Harley Quinn's on her own. She's running shit. She's running it. I mean, because of, as we mentioned, Deadshot, he's kind of got his kid with him. He's picked her up from the previous issue where he kind of went home, trying to build a new life, trying to forget everything because he's had his chip removed and stuff. And then in the flip side, he's ended up killing 3 or 4 people and he's had to run away.
Yeah.
And I just really like the way that this story panned out.
Yeah. It was very much, the origin story was very much just to set up Ted Kord's secret weapon at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It was to let us know that, because TNT died in the first episode, didn't he? TNT?
Yeah.
Did they blow him up, or did he blow himself up to try to stop them? I can't remember.
I think he was trying to save everyone else, and he was like, he kind of just went on a mad run and was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And he kind of just kamikazed himself.
Yeah.
He just went off and done.
What was he? TNT?
Mm-hmm.
And then in this issue, we find out that they were TNTs. So he had a twin sister.
Yeah.
So 2 of them. And Amanda Waller took her years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now, obviously, she's owned by Ted Kord. And
he's just literally owning shit, everything.
But there's someone else in a tube at the end, and we don't know who it is. We just see the silhouette.
But I'm just going to try and skip to it.
So what? Beautiful.
The art is insane. But my thing is that so they was both kidnapped on Ares Island of Badhinsia. Have I pronounced that right?
Probably not, but I couldn't pronounce it either.
I'm going to go with Badhinsia. So basically, obviously, they're test subjects. They've been captured, and it's basically the post-human project where they're trying to. I guess they're trying to create these new age mutants, as it were.
Yeah, metahumans.
Metahumans, to see what can happen, and then obviously they're pushing Aerie to her limit. They're trying to push her literally off the edge to see if she's got wings and stuff. And it comes out she's got wings. They reel her back in. This image here, I'm going to see if I can zoom in on it. This one up here, where she is literally just sitting under her wings.
Yeah, it's quite bad, isn't it?
Yeah, the artwork it's insane, and the story for me flowed flawlessly. I have to say, the way that we see her find out she's got her wings and stuff, and it's just her basically growing up and evolving within this while building a beautiful relationship with someone called Wink, who's been kind of watching her without her knowing.
Yeah, because she's been tested on and she's got powers, but she's really smart about it. She hasn't let them know.
Yeah.
So they've kept her there because she knows she'll be sold on if she lets anyone know that she's got powers.
But who's she going to be sold on to? Is it going to be Ted Kord?
I think it's probably anyone at the highest bidder.
Yeah.
These people are probably just selling to all different nations of the world to have your own superhuman army.
Yeah, it's just it is just mental, and I think the fact that when she turns around and says, "Do you want pizza?" She's like, what are you actually talking about? And then before you know it, boom, they're eating pizza.
I thought she went to Italy. I thought she can literally transport anywhere on the planet. I thought she went and got her a pizza from Italy. I thought that would have been so romantic.
But where did she go? Did she go Aldi? Is it Aldi?
She just went to the guard station and nicked it from their oven.
Oh, I mean, she could have gone anywhere.
She can know. I think her powers are limited to either places she's been or places she can see.
Yeah, because she said when we get to towards the end of the comic, she says she can't go too far out, can she? Which is why she jumps onto Aerie for her to carry her out. But you know, I don't know if you noticed this. One of the similarities I thought of these two brothers and sisters is very similar to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in Avengers.
Yes. Two siblings experimented on.
Two siblings that has been experimented on. One of them dies, which obviously Quicksilver dies, and then the other one becomes some seriously powerful bitch.
Yeah, well, she took on Thanos by herself.
I know.
She's awesome.
So I mean, but then obviously, so we get to know about these. This was basically a relationship building comic, wasn't it? It was about Aerie and Wink, how they've become to know and love each other, and then it was about them trying to do the right thing and save the TN teens. And then as we go on, we see Amanda Waller. I love Amanda Waller.
I love this Amanda Waller, the larger, heavy set Amanda Waller.
Yeah, and then you've got Killer Croc. Who's that with her? That's
KG Beast.
KG Beast. That's the one. But I mean, I just thought this was wicked. I really, really loved it, and the fact that Aerie really does come into her own, and she just tries to save everyone. Killer Croc for me has always been an absolute badass.
Oh yeah, when he snaps her wing.
I did want to punch him in the face with that a bit. That was harsh.
But Amanda Waller, she just shows how uncaring she is when she takes just one of the twins, and then she just asks if Aerie is a criminal, and then she's just like, oh, that's a shame, and just walks away. She has no emotion whatsoever.
Oh, I know. G-Man's like, what comic are you on now? G-Man, we are on Suicide Squad number 8. I'm not sure if you're reading it. I know you don't really pick up your current comics. He's on the wall. No. I said Suicide Squad 8, mate. But yeah, no, I thought it was wicked. Like, this is definitely, and the thing that I'm gutted about is that this has been one of the comics that's been mentioned to be coming to an end, with obviously the 800 redundancies in DC. This was one on the list, along with I think it was Batman, Gotham Knights, Aquaman, potentially our fan favorite Harley Quinn could be coming to an end. So I just hope they don't go down the route of trying to cram everything in, because I think this is like is it a 12 issue?
Or is that what they're ending on? Or
I think there's talk. I mean, I think it was just going to span on for 24 or 25 issues, but then I think obviously with the DCs coming in saying that we've just had to get rid of 800 people, I think it's literally aiming for 12. But fingers crossed, I could be wrong. I hope I am, because I want to see how this story pans out.
Yeah,
and I want to see.
Hopefully, if it ends, they can get a one-shot, maybe an annual or something to finish it.
Yeah.
But if it's not selling, I can understand why they're going to cancel it. They do need to make money so they can produce more comics in the long run. So
I just hope it doesn't all go down a digital format. Like,
I'll be done. I don't mind my weeklies that I know I can later get as a physical, because I'll be getting Hope of My Friend in physical format when that comes out. But to not have any physical format would just I need to hold a comic in my hand.
That's the thing. That is the thing. And I love the fact that every new comic book day, you can go and get a new comic. You can read it with digital format. No matter what you're reading it on, you're still just looking at digital colours. It's not as impactful as holding and smelling a new comic book. But I mean, you mentioned at the end there is this kiss. I think you're right. This is more passionate than Friends. But
Especially when TNT's like, this is awkward.
Oh my God, he's like, yeah, this is beautiful, but it's also super awkward. But then Harley Quinn, she's like, yay, I mean the middle straight up suckered, but what an ending. It's like, she seems to be the only one that's actually interested.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was, I do love this comic. I love all the Suicide Squad members, and I think this, is this not,
is it?
that I think that's
the TNT. Yeah, that's the sister. But there's a shadow of another person. So who is that one?
Someone will stop you. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Who has been kidnapped?
Or could it be someone that we thought was dead but isn't?
So who out of the new Suicide Squad has been killed? I think it was just.
Is it possible that that's the other that's the brother, and the explosion didn't kill him because his power is explosions, and Ted Cord's got them both? I mean, it could be anyone from that silhouette.
I think it's got to be someone that can breathe underwater because he hasn't got a mask on.
Is he underwater though? Because you can see that she's got
the mask on and the bubbles and stuff.
Yeah, that could just be a prison that one's in. It'll be interesting to see who it is. Maybe that's the real Ted Cord.
Maybe it is. I reckon Bobo could have solved this. I reckon. But I mean, it was a fun issue. I enjoyed it. It's action packed. It does what it does. Suicide Squad. You're going to be full of adventure, witty one-liners, the comedic values in there, the intensity's in there, the portrayal of all the characters is in there. So it's a great read. I really did enjoy it, and it was for me one of the comics I read this week. I was like, I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, definitely. I'm leaning now towards thinking that that's the real Ted Cord in there.
You reckon?
Yeah.
And I hope so.
Well, you don't want to know your heroes as villains, do you?
Maybe he becomes the Blue Beetle.
Yeah, because that can't be the Ted Cord in the universe that they're going with, because Booster Gold and Blue Beetle are a staple, aren't they? They're best friends. Yeah. They're fun.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it kind of leaves us hanging as to who it is. Is it Max Lord playing Ted Cord? Oh, Grey Man.
It could be, yeah.
This is why I love having Grey Man in the chat, because he reads his Silver Age comics through and through. He knows his shit, and he just drops in this and just leaves us with the thought in our head, right, yeah, actually, could it be Max Lord playing Ted Cord? I'll tell you what, Grey Man, if you are right, that is an absolute banging statement. Well done, mate. I really hope it is, because that would be very enjoyable.
Wouldn't be the first time Maxwell Lord has done Ted Cord dirty, would it?
Not at all. Not at all. And I think, again, leaving us hanging takes us right on to Batgirl 48. Now, I've got to say,
I love this cover.
Right, so I have to say, I only started reading this 2 weeks ago. Right, so I caught up in 2 weeks while literally blitzing Venom. I caught up with Batgirl because I was like, right, I need to do all the tie-ins. I need to find out where the Joker will start and where it's picking up, where it's kicking off and stuff like that. And Batgirl 47 was off the chart. I really, honestly enjoyed it. It was just bringing back so many memories of when the Killing Joke, where the Joker bursts in, he shoots Barbara Gordon, and then there's that black and white image of him in his summer outfit, and he's just standing there and he's just shot her. 47 for me kind of portrayed that, and then 48, I was just like, oh my God.
Because of the splash panel at the start.
Oh my God, it was just, where is it? It's this one.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't
it? It is absolutely beautiful. Did you have trouble reading it? I kind of like felt a bit, I was reading it on my way to work, and I kind of felt a bit spaced out. I was like, right, I don't know where I'm looking here.
I think I went clockwise by mistake, but I did get it all in the end.
Yeah, I kind of went up, down, left, right, and then ended up, I think, I was like, right, over here. And do you know what I liked about this? They brought back her brother.
Yes.
Now, the only time we see him was in, I think it was Year of the Villain. It was in Year of the Villain, I think, where Commissioner Gordon absolutely lost his shit, got infected and everything like that. And then he argues with, is it James?
Yeah,
it is JJ, isn't it? But this was just this is obviously all going on in Barbara's head.
Yeah.
And it just, again, portrays that the Joker has worked his wonderful demonic magic.
Yeah, he's taken us straight back to that night, hasn't he?
He has, and he's just like flipping it right out. I'm just going to do shout out to a few guys. Hey, Tony, how you doing, mate? Thank you for joining. The Grey Man, yet again, or mind controlling Ted. The Grey Man is dropping in suggestions left, right, and centre. And I tell you what, Tony, you've just joined. The previous comic we just read was Suicide Squad, and there is a bit at the end of it. If you haven't read it, it's leaving the case open to finding out who that person in the test tube is. Is it going to be Max Law playing Ted Cord? Is it going to be someone mind controlling Ted? Who knows? If you've been reading it, let me know what you think in the comment section. The serial killer brother, that's the one. We are now on Batgirl 48, and it is the serial killer brother. So yeah, I mean, this was probably, along with the three Jokers, this was probably one of the best read comics this week. I mean, the fact that it was all about Barbara Gordon coming back from the recovery of the absolutely drasticness of what she had to do in issue 47.
Yeah. Yeah, she had to rip the shit out herself, didn't she?
Oh my God. But the thing, that's not the first time she's done that.
No. And it gets to the stage where you've got to stop doing things like that. For me, personally, it becomes a MacGuffin, and it's like, well, if she can just take it in and out whenever she wants, why didn't she leave it in when she's Barbara Gordon and take it out when she's Batgirl, so that she can really have a secret identity?
Yeah, exactly.
But they do mention that this is the last time she can put it in and out, so that's good at least.
Yeah, because I kind of really like the character that came back in this. So obviously, Barbara Gordon in issue 47, she was basically left for dead on the rooftop after having another altercation with the Joker. She kind of led him down a merry alley and then ended up like flipping her shit, smacking him. She wakes up in hospital. She has a flip out. Now this for me was the same scene as when she was in the flat in 47, and she flips around and says, "Be careful," and she throws her red wine.
Yeah,
this time obviously
someone's in the room with her. She's so aware of her surroundings.
And then this time obviously she's kicking over the table, and it was her brother. I was suspicious as anything to think, why the hell has her brother just shown up out of the blue? Do you know what I mean? He's always got an ulterior motive. So it's kind of, I was like, what the hell was going on here? She's kind of had to rip her shit out. and she's flipping all around. But Grey Man, she literally had to. So obviously Barbara Gordon, being Batgirl, she had a chip planted in her spine that enabled her to walk and stuff when the Joker shot her, and she became the Oracle. So she has another fight with the Joker with similarities of what happened when he shot her. It all kicks off. She rips it out thinking she's doing the right thing, and she ends up crippling herself for probably how long? Does it say how long she's out for?
She was only out for a few hours, it says, but she had to rip it out because the Joker was controlling it. So he was controlling her movements. So she physically couldn't fight back, and I think that's what was killing her more than anything. More than being face to face with the Joker was the fact that she physically couldn't do anything, even though she wanted to. And you see, as soon as she rips that chip out, she just kicks his ass, doesn't she?
Yeah, because obviously Grey Man in the Batman arc at the moment, the Joker, there's the Joker Wars going on, so the Joker has control of every single Wayne Enterprise, all the electronics, basically everything. He's got Mr. Fox under Lucius Fox. He's got Lucius Fox under his new gas, his new Joker gas and stuff like that. So he's kind of running Gotham at the moment, and the only way Barbara could have got out of that was to rip out the spine, not her spine, rip out her the adapter in her back that was controlling her, enabling her to walk. And we kind of 3 or 4 hours later, she wakes up in hospital, and it's better the devil you know that her brother is standing there, more than willing to help than he's ever done before in his life, which was kind of leading me down the fact of, are you really all you're acting to be? And we kind of find out in the end of this comic that he does have an ulterior motive. But this was just, Shane, I love this comic. I
Yeah.
don't know how you felt about it, but it was bloody
I
awesome.
really, yeah, I can understand why they're so dubious of JJ. You wouldn't trust anything he has to say, not after everything he's done. I mean, he's tried to kill Barbara numerous times, and he knows she's Batgirl, so he's even more dangerous. So not trusting him makes perfect sense. I get that he's on new medication, and he says he's fine now, but we see that that medication has to be taken straight away when he gets that warning, because he goes a few seconds without taking it, and he just flips out. So he's not safe to be around at all.
And it's kind of like Barbara's got no one other than the Bat family, because obviously Jim Gordon isn't commissioner no more because of Year of the Villain. He got infected. He had to step down. I think he was made to step down. So Bullock took over. So he's on like a downward spiral, drinking constantly all the time. Then you've got JJ, who has miraculously appeared after all these years and wants to help. So poor Babs, or Babes as
oh, that wound me up so much. Who calls their ex babes like that?
But I couldn't work out if it was just a typo.
I thought that for the first time he said it, but then every single time Luke calls her babes, it's clearly meant to be babes.
Babs. I was like, yeah, he's done it once.
I went back 2 pages to see if it was a typo through the whole book, but Jim calls her Babs. So they spelt it right then. So no, he is purposefully calling her babes, and it is so cringe.
And I was just like, I didn't even want to read it. I just ended up saying Babs. I was just like, I ended up reading it Babs. I'm not even reading a comic. I don't even like call my wife Babes. So I'm not going to start calling bloody Barbara Gordon Babes.
But you wouldn't call an ex Babes though if you were having a conversation with your ex. So it was just. But
I think there's still that thing there, isn't there? There's still that thing about she feels at home with him. She feels like safe with him. But even then, like
it was.
I think
it was far too. But every sentence he was just babes, babes.
And the thing about this comic is that she literally doesn't know who to trust. No. She doesn't want to trust her dad. She doesn't want to trust her brother. And we kind of see... Sorry, go on, mate.
I was going to say, well, she can't trust Nightwing now at the moment either, because the last time they met, they had a fight, and because he's now under the control as well. So she doesn't even know if she can trust the Bat family.
No. And I think she literally doesn't know which way to turn. Everywhere, every time she turns around, there's someone lurking in the shadows. There's someone, or she thinks there's someone that's going to hurt her and stuff. And I mean, this page here, where you literally just see her eyes, she goes from being fine. No, that's not
Barbara. Barbara has green eyes.
That's Julia Dent, isn't it?
No, that's the girl from the end.
Yeah, but isn't that Julia Dent?
No, that's just some girl from the park that just looks like. But I thought it was Barbara until I saw the eyes, and I was like, oh, that's not Barbara.
Do you know what, mate? I literally didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I thought it was Barbara, because if you look at the panels as well, you don't even know she's standing. She could be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So they've done it purposefully, so you don't actually know right until you see the eyes, and you're like, oh, actually, blue eyes? No, that's not Barbara. So she looks just like Barbara for the exact reason we see on the final page.
Yes, exactly, which ties into Nightwing. Is it Nightwing 72 or 73?
I think so, yes.
And the Grey Man, it sounds like something you'd call someone to be annoying. Yes, it does. So, Grey Man, while I'm seeing you through the Geeky Guy window, I'm also going to be calling you Babes. From now on, you will be known to me as the Grey Man Babes. Just letting you know that. Babes. But that is a great spot, mate, honestly. Like, I've read about 7 or 8 comics this week. Right, well, since yesterday, and I didn't even read that, so my hat goes off to you for that, mate, because now it all makes sense.
Yeah. So we get Barbara. She's got pretty much her last life now. This is her last chance at being Batgirl.
This is her last chance. She can't rip out her spine anymore,
or have any damage to it at all, because then she's Oracle again. It's plain and simple. No more Batgirl.
All good, sweetie pie. Grey Man's just told me. That's what I like to be called. But this was a really, really nice. Like I really liked this pose of her there. Like, it's literally Barbara Gordon. She's back on her feet, and you can see the scars that she's got.
the massive
But even
scar down
after,
her back. Yeah.
and you know what I really liked about this? It's like she was becoming Batgirl again for the first time, and it seems like every time she rips out that thing from her back, she has to start again.
Yeah.
She has to start again, and I think it's the way that she's talking to herself, like she's up at the top of the clock tower, she's talking to herself saying, I've got this, you've got this, let's do it. And she's like, what does it say? But it's the one you learn the most from. It's daring to do despite the fear, takes you further, and let's face it, I love the thrill.
Yeah, so it's that first leap. Every time she gets her legs back,
Yeah.
she gets to do that first leap over and over again.
But I think it's the fact that she does that. Yeah, I think literally, I was just going to say the same thing. I think the fact that now she's doing it, she knows full well that this could be her last time. So I think she's got to enjoy it a lot more than she has done before.
Because I think the movie even says to her that the implant might not last long, and she says it doesn't have to. So she just has this one more mission, and then she'll be quite happy to be done with being Batgirl.
Yeah, I think he says. That's what it says. It says it doesn't have to, this won't even last that long. She's like, it doesn't have to last long. I just need it to last today.
Yeah, because she's just got to do what she needs to do, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows she's more than capable in that chair as well. So it's not like she's becoming a helpless victim when she's in that chair.
Yeah.
And then we see Jim again, James Gordon Jr.
We see Jim. We see James Gordon Jr.
He misses his pills by a few seconds, and
he literally just goes mental.
Yeah, so he needs to set that timer for like 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah. But it's this is when it really became enjoyable and came quite dark. Is obviously where she hears something. She goes to the alley where Commissioner Bullock's there, and he's going to say, look, you need to get Jim Gordon on this. Why do you need Jim when I'm in charge now? And they're like, yeah, you're going to need to get her here. And then dun dun dun, there she is.
Yeah.
And yes, it is her. It is her because she's got the pink streak in her hair.
Yep.
But my question is, isn't this the same body that is found in Nightwing? Is it 72?
I haven't read Nightwing 72 yet.
So I've just blown it out of the fucking wall. No. I'm so sorry, mate.
Fine. No, if it's a continuation of this, then it will make me want to read it quicker.
But yeah, so it's literally Nightwing. Like he goes, "Oh my god, quick! You've got to come! You've got to come!" But Barbara, Batgirl's lost her mind. She's blown up the hospital. But then it ties into this because you're like, what?
So I thought Nightwing was being controlled by the Joker at the moment.
Yeah, he is. But he turns around. He rings. I think he either rings Red Hood and Robin, and turns around and says, "Oh my god, quick! We need to meet." Batgirl's lost her stuff. She's blown up the hospital. And then Nightwing 72 ends with all three of them saying, "Oh my god, we need to find this out. Like Batgirl's lost. She's lost her mind. She's going to end up dead."
So yeah,
I think it all ties into this. That. Yeah, definitely do because
the thing I want to say is when they're talking about getting Jim on the case, is it just because it's a member of the Bat family that they think's dead, or is it because it's Batgirl in particular?
I think it's because obviously no one knows that.
Do they not? I mean, I'm pretty sure Jim knows that Barbara's Batgirl. I don't think he's that naive.
Yeah, I think he does, but I don't think the GCPD do. I think they just obviously they know that Jim Gordon's got the best relationship with the Bat family, so I think it's a bit close to home to say. I think he would be the only one that would want to deal with the fact because he would be the one that had to break the news to Batman. I think it'd be a lot more cold-hearted if it was Bullock to turn around and say, "Batman, one of your psychics is dead." I think if it was to come from Jim Gordon, it'd be more sincere because obviously he's worked with Batman since his kind of inception in Gotham. So I kind of think them saying that. I mean, I could be totally wrong. They could just be like, "Wow, where she's laying in that state of death, she kind of does look like Barbara Gordon." So they've put two and two together and thought, we need to call Jim. We need to let him know that his daughter is.
You're right about calling Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we think JJ did it? Or is that too obvious?
Do you know what? I don't think it's too obvious at all. I actually think because we don't, I know we see him like trying to swallow pills and everything, but we don't actually see him taking them.
No. And we didn't see in the park who it was though, so it could have been anyone.
Yeah.
they could just be wanting us to think it's JJ. I mean, JJ pops up and then someone that looks like his sister turns up dead. I mean, it's really obvious if that's the route they're going. If that's the route they're going, they might as well have just shown us him grab her.
Do you think he's working with the Joker though, or do you think he's got another ulterior motive? Because he does know she's Batgirl. He probably would have access to one of her suits in her flat if she's got a spare suit lying around.
I don't think JJ has anything to do with it. I think it's a red herring.
You don't?
No.
Really?
I think it's too obvious. I think if you're going for any shock value, then it's too obvious. But if they want to be obvious, then that's fine. But I don't think so. I mean,
see, I think it is as black and white as that. I think it is JJ. I think because obviously the main overarching theme of this is that it's all about the Joker war, so it's all tying back to that. And I don't think they're going to stray from the Batman comic too much by, do you know what I mean, letting the Joker kill this girl and everything like that. I think it is just JJ. I think he's just forgot to take his pills. He's had enough of it arguing with his dad. He knows that Barbara doesn't trust him no more, and he's just kind of like, I'm done. Because who else would know that would be able to get that uniform, that outfit? That's my only thing. I'm like, where is he going to get that from? Because it's the exact same outfit that she's wearing now.
The Joker does have access to all the Batcaves and all of Batman's stockpiles and all his equipment. So it would stand to reason that he has access to Batgirl's spare costumes as well.
And we don't know how. It looks like she's been shot in the head.
Did they say? They don't say how she died. Did they say bludgeoned? No, did they say bludgeoned and strangled?
Blunt object and strangled. We found something that might match in the dump. Do you know what, right? So I'm not going to give too much away for you, right? But if you do read Nightwing 72, the last issue that came out, there's a part in it where Nightwing and Batgirl kind of something happens, and I think that ties to it. So
could it have been Nightwing that killed her?
I'm starting to think so now. With obviously the blunt object and trauma to brain and strangulation and stuff like that. I think it could be.
It could be that he could have been working with Punchline.
Yeah, and I still don't want to rule out that JJ has something to do with it.
No, but I'm looking forward to the next issue. Honestly,
read Nightwing 72, and I would love to have a chat with you on that, even if it's just like over Instagram. I'd love to have it. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of wanting to see what this Endless Winter is. Have you heard anything about that?
I've not heard anything. I've seen it on the back of all my comic books this month.
Every single comic.
It's going to be, I'm assuming, a new miniseries. Like
Mr. Freeze.
Oh,
could you imagine? So let's just get to the big one. I mean, I did this. You're very excited about this, so you can lead this whole thing, right? I literally was up at 4 o'clock this morning on White Whale Comics, and we were talking about this. Now, it's set 30 years after one of the most epic, greatest comic books to ever be released. Obviously, that is The Killing Joke. I like this comic. I'm not going to don't get me wrong. I had like an online argument with one of the people in the chat today. Don't get me wrong. I liked the comic. I enjoyed it, but there were certain things in it that I just feel were, one, out of place, two, they rushed into doing it, and three, it kind of happened too quick and too easily. So what I'm going to do, I want you to talk about how you feel about this comic, and then I'm just going to pitch in with my 2 cents worth, because I just want to know what someone else feels
to start
about it.
With, obviously the art is gorgeous.
The art is absolutely amazing.
The amazing side-by-side panels of Bruce's scars and how he got them.
Like Jason Fabok has done, and this is sensational, right? So this was obviously delayed due to numerous reasons, but one of the reasons is they was waiting for the artist to finish every single cover. So I think Jason Fabok, I think there's 5 variant comic covers in every book. So that's 15. That's 15 variant covers.
Yeah, I've got them all on my pull list.
This, I mean, I think I mentioned to you before we went live. I've got 3 of them behind me, and I'm going to have to buy the same 3 again from a place in space, because I bought these at Gosh Comics to go live on the stream this morning. Otherwise, it would have all been digital. But I had to get them. I had to get them. And right, go on. You tell me what you think, like, because I did like it, but there's certain bits that I want to see if we're on the same wavelength about.
All right. Well, to start with, I absolutely loved it. I did read it in 2 parts because I wanted to take in what I was reading a little bit more than just rushing through it. And from the start, with just the panels with no words, it was fantastic. The side-by-side panels of the scars and how he got them. And I like that they show you 3 scars from 3 Jokers.
Yes, I noticed that as well.
Now I'm wondering if that's 1 scar from each of the Jokers that we see in the book. I thought that was an interesting little thing, because they go through all the villains. So you've got Bane there, and you've got Riddler and stuff like that. And then they show you 3 separate Joker scars. He gets 1 from acid, 1 from a card, and 1 from a bullet.
Yeah.
And each of those represents the 3 Jokers that they mention: the criminal, the clown, and the comedian.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fantastic. I like all the foreshadowing and all the stuff like that. What I did have a problem with is it's unclear if there have always been 3 Jokers. Obviously, they're going to tell you that as it goes along. But if there have always been 3, why are they now now letting you know that there's 3 of them?
So this goes back to the Dark Side War, where obviously on the what's the name of the chair that he sits on? The Morpheus chair. So I think Batman is aware there's 3 Jokers.
I don't know. See, he was really shocked. That shocked face to me doesn't say, "Oh, there's 3 Jokers." That shocked face tells you it's someone you know.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was expecting the Joker to be someone Batman knew.
Yeah.
More than just 3 randos. So if he was just told there was 3 Jokers, I don't think that's the right response to that. He was far too shocked to just find out there was 3.
Yeah.
But if that's what he found out, then that's what he found out. I mean,
I think it was just. I mean, it was great, and I think tying back to the Morpheus chair and stuff like that. Did he know there was 3 Jokers? He was made aware of it. He was made it was someone that he knew, but I think it was just the fact that I think Greyman's just touched on it. It's Alfred. I wish it was Alfred, because then that means he's back in the comics. But unfortunately, I don't think it is.
There's an amazing story where Alfred is the Joker. It's called Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader. It's a 2-part.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay.
Oh, it's fantastic. But yes, so we get the flashback again of Bruce's parents dying, but this time it's overlaid with the story of a crime family being murdered by the Joker.
See, I'm totally over this. This was one of the panels that I was over it, because we've seen it so many times. We've seen it in the recent Batman run. We've seen it in Detective Comics over and over again. We've seen it in this. We see it. I think we see it in Batman Damned. I think there's a bit of a part in it and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, even if you're not a Batman fan, right? You know that his parents were killed as they come out of the cinema watching The Mask of Zorro. They were killed in Crime Alley. You don't need to see it again. That was my only thing. It's been done to death. Why have you got to show it again?
I think they showed it again in this because of the story on the news about the Moxon family, is it? Or the Doxon family?
The Moxons, yeah.
The Moxons. They mentioned that they had some tie to the death of the Waynes. But Joe Chill took responsibility.
Yeah.
But if you look at the panels of the murder of the family, that's not a professional killer that's killing them.
No, it's not.
I think they're showing you what happened so that when they say Joe Chill killed the family, you know he did.
That's a tongue twist, isn't it?
It doesn't have anything to do with the Moxon family. So I think it was just to show you who actually did it, and was it an actual hit, because he's nervous when he's robbing them. It doesn't come across as a professional hit to me.
No, you can tell he's stuttering. He's like, look, give me the pearls and stuff like that, and you can see if this was a professional, he's like, right,
So when the news
empty
mentions,
pockets and stuff.
yeah, so when the news mentions that a crime family had anything to do with it, I'm kind of inclined to just think that that was just hearsay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, we've seen it so many times we don't need to see it again. And it is only one page, so it's fine. It's not like it's constantly throughout the book him flashing back to it.
Yeah.
But then we get Barbara Gordon on a treadmill breaking another one.
See, this is what I don't get. Like the fact that she's broken a treadmill. Did someone just not turn around and say, "All right, look, hold on a minute, you've broken another treadmill. You're not coming in this gym anymore. It's not happening."
I mean,
like, you're costing me a fortune.
I know she has a spinal implant, but she's not bionic.
Yeah, exactly. So
it only gives her the power to walk. It doesn't give her super speed.
Yeah, and maximum speed selected.
Yeah, I don't think running at maximum speed on a treadmill would break it because it wouldn't have that speed, would it?
Well, think how many injuries would like be claimed in if you're running on a treadmill and you go up to like an incline of 15 and you're running at a maximum speed of 35. Like you're not going to break the treadmill. You're probably just going to slip, smash your face in, and sue the gym because the stop button didn't work. You're not going to like. Since when did she become the bionic woman, as you've just said? Like that was kind of a bit out there. I'm like, come on, you've done really well, like portraying the Batman, his injuries, how his parents were killed, which is boring. And then you come back to this, and all of a sudden, Barbara Gordon's become the bionic woman, where she's literally not broken one treadmill, she's broken a second one.
Yeah. So yeah, they hyped her up a little bit. I mean, I love Barbara Gordon. Don't get me wrong, she's one of my favorite characters. But there's no need to hype her up. Her actions speak for themselves.
But this was an amazing. This is one of my favorite images of all time. Is when she opens that front door, and it's just there, and it's that shot straight through her belly button.
And they show the scar. That's what the theme throughout is, the scars, isn't it?
It's the scars, yeah, because it doesn't. Because doesn't Batman say that scar takes the worst to heal, or takes the longest to heal, or something?
Oh, the memories.
Yeah.
But they've all got a scar from the Joker. It's to show each of them has a scar, and it looks like they've got a scar from a different Joker.
And the Grey Man said it. Her knees would have got screwed up. Exactly. Like it's ridiculous. That I was pretty disappointed with that. I mean, like as we go through page by page, I'll come up and I'll just say what I didn't like about it. Okay. But overall, I love the comic. I'm just going to be really nitpicky. Yeah, I mean, these are
nitpicks. Yeah, exactly. They're little nitpicks that just. Some things don't need to be in the book. Some things are a bit exaggerated, and some things are just completely out of place.
Yeah. So then, obviously, after Barbara Gordon, who is been hit by the comedian.
Yeah, she was watching the comedian had been killed over live stream by the Joker.
Yeah, what was his name?
At the same time.
Yeah.
The Hawaiian comedian, Kala. Oh, what's his name?
The fat man or something, wasn't it? Kalani Apaka.
Yeah, the Hawaiian comedian that used to dress up like Batman.
Yeah. So and that's what I liked about it. So each one that's dying is the same layout of the Jokers: the comedian,
the criminal,
and the clown. Yeah.
And it also looks like the killings have something to do with Batman. So the Mox family were rumored to have had something to do with the Wayne's murder.
Yeah.
The comedian used to dress up like Batman.
Yeah, he was the fat Batman, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then the final three are killed wearing the Red Hood outfit that the Joker was wearing when Batman dropped him in the vat.
Yes, so you couldn't get the red helmet.
To Batman in some way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And next we come on to Red Hood.
Oh, I love this. This fight is so brutal.
It is brutal, but like he goes through. So this is what I didn't get right. So in the first top right, we've got him fighting off about 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6 men. Yep.
Yeah.
He beat them up. He's punched them. He's doing everything he can. Like he's beating them all up. And then one of them rugby tackles him, and his helmet falls straight off.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's not attached because Joker just takes it off him later on as well. It doesn't.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, that was one thing I was like, what? Fair enough. Like if the Velcro's come loose, get some new Velcro. Like just tie it on. I mean, this is your everything is.
Under his chin.
Exactly, like a little clasp, just like keep it on. But for me, that was a thing that came off too easy. The fight scene was wicked. I do like the Red Hood. Like he's a badass. He just and I've got to say, while we're on this, have you been watching Teen Titans?
Yes.
So obviously that was announced in DC fandom that Jason Todd is going to become the Red Hood. This is going to be epic. I'm really looking forward to this because obviously at the end of season 3, was it?
2.
Was it season? At the end of season 2, they're all there, and you see just Jason Todd get on his bike and drive off. So obviously he's got a bone to pick with Nightwing, and for him to become Red Hood, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Wondering how they're going to explain it though, because he's not faced off against the Joker yet. So
no, yeah,
it's weird for him to just randomly be calling himself Red Hood.
It is going to be, yeah.
But you saying his helmet came off so easily, I think it was just an excuse to show the scar on the back of his head, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it could have happened on the first scene where 5 or 6 of them are just beating the hell out of him. That would have made more sense than one of them just like rugby tackling him after he's just beat up 6 goons and all of a sudden the helmet comes off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously there's all the memories there of when he got his head smashed in by the Joker. And obviously, again, it ties back to the Batman. The Batman wasn't there to save Jason. He kind of just left him to die.
So brutal again.
It is so brutal.
And the end, when the Joker's talking about this at the end, I got chills when he said what he says. We'll get to it, but I won't say it now.
Yeah.
The one line he says to Jason.
Yeah, and I was edge.
Whoa.
But for me, throughout this comic, it's kind of like Jason is like an erratic teenager.
Yeah.
And it was like Batgirl and Batman are trying to rein him in, and he's like the erratic teenager just off doing like rebelling against his parents.
Well, I think what it is with the trauma that the Joker caused to Jason didn't have anyone afterwards to ground him or to help him get better. Barbara had that family, she had her family. So she managed to overcome that trauma, whereas Jason never did. Jason has kept that in, and he uses that in every fight. Every fight he's fighting the Joker.
Yeah.
So that's why he's always so erratic and so angry.
This is an epic. Oh, lost you again. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Are we back on?
Yep. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
These three where they're taking off the helmet of the Red Hood. This was amazing.
That first one looks like the Joker as well, doesn't he?
He really, really does. He honestly really does. And I think the whole thing with this is that Batman has literally just found out that there's 3 Jokers.
Because there's no other explanation for it.
No, there's no other explanation.
Still, but he can't explain it.
And he's like, it's kind of coming to fruition of what was on the Morbius chair is kind of happening. But for me, he just deals with it too easily. And the fact is, I thought this was so stupid. The fact is that he's off talking to himself, right? That we obviously know he's talking to someone. Is he talking to like Batgirl or is he talking to Red Hood and stuff? He's talking to someone. Yet the GCPD are like, who's he talking to? He's lost his. Who's he talking to? Come on, you know full well that the Dark Knight is obviously talking to someone.
Yeah, he's a team. He has a team. Yeah. I thought it was. I didn't think he was talking to Alfred at first.
So did I. I'm not going to lie.
And then Batgirl shows up. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it was just. I thought I did like this page because obviously it's at Ace Chemicals. It's where Joker became the Joker. But for me, the fact that he just found out there's 3 Jokers there, he kind of just dealt with it a bit too easy. It was like, oh, all right, okay. Not that. Oh my God! Like what happened on the Morbius chair has actually come true.
But
shit.
He's a very logic-based person, though. So because he has no other explanation for it, that he has to accept that there has to be 3 Jokers, or at least there has to be 3 at the moment. I don't think he's accepting that there has always been 3. I think he's accepting that tonight there are 3 people that are the Joker.
Now, my question to you is there 3 Jokers to the power of the Joker times 3? if that makes sense. So it's the Joker times 3, or is it 3 individual Jokers that are kind of being led by one main Joker? So it's not like, because obviously we know the Joker is a psychotic maniac that will literally stop at nothing to get what he wants. Now, are all of these Jokers, do they have the same tendencies? Do they have the same inhibitions to just want to create madness and kill people? Or are they being told, are they people pretending to be the Joker? This is what I couldn't figure out.
This book implies that there are 3 Jokers, and there have always been 3 Jokers, and there is one that is more the leader than the other 2, even though they are all the Jokers. So I think what it's implying is that they take turns. So back in The Killing Joke, it was the comedian who went to Barbara's house and shot Barbara.
Yes.
And then it was the criminal that beat down and almost killed Jason Todd.
Yes.
So I think they take turns. And I think there's one Joker for each scenario.
Each of them.
If he wants a really crazy scheme, then one of them will do it. If they want a meticulous scheme, another one will do it. Yeah. And it does. I mean, it's a clever way of doing the character, because obviously every writer has their own writing style. So you can say that there have been things that the Joker's done that you're like, would the Joker have done that? And then you realize, there's been 3 of them. One of them would have done that, and the other 2 wouldn't. Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to find out if there has always been 3, or if the main Joker, the real Joker, has somehow brainwashed 2 people into believing they are also the Joker.
This is what I think it is. I think that's my point precisely. I don't think there could be 3 actual Jokers that are as mad as the original one. I think it is a fact that he's used his laughing gas or his chemical to persuade and mentally get these 2 people to think that they are the Joker, and they will work with him, acting like the Joker, doing what the Joker would do. But there's always going to be that part that they're not quite the Joker.
No, because the Joker has used doubles multiple times. I mean,
he has.
The New 52 Harlequin, we thought it was the Joker in that book, but it turned out to be someone who was just one of his stand-ins. Yeah. So he does use stand-ins. So could these 2 be stand-ins that he's come to rely on? Because I think Harlequin would know if there were 3 different Jokers. The amount of time she spent with, even if she spent time with one of them, she would have heard that the Joker did something while she was with her Joker, so she'd know there would be more than one. So I'm leaning more to that there's one Joker and he has done something to these 2. I could be completely wrong.
I'm on the same wavelength as you. I definitely think it is that. And again, we kind of go, one of the Jokers has been put into the back of the gurney. He's on his way to I'm guessing the Gotham hospital, and without even knowing it,
I thought that was Red Hood in the back.
What, the original, like what, strangling the other Joker?
No, in the back of the panel, in the middle page, you see someone. He says, "I'll take it from here." Does he say?
Yeah. He said, "You can shut the doors. I got him." Yeah. I did think that was the Joker. Yeah.
The Joker as well, especially when he puts his hands around his throat. So I thought it was going to be him. But then
it turns out to be Red Hood. I mean, how would the driver of the ambulance not know that Red Hood's in the back? This again, I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, well, if he was wearing a medic uniform, which he is, and if he didn't have his red hood on, so he would have
he didn't
looked like a person.
He didn't.
So the driver could have just assumed he was a paramedic.
Yeah, I mean, but this again, it just seems to be like Red Hood just going off on one, basically being stupid, and he just literally is willing to kill everyone and everything in its way to get to the Joker. Where, as you mentioned, Batman is more. He processes things a lot more. He's a lot more thought out person instead of being irrational, explosive, smashing up things in the moment. He will think it out, and it will take him as long as it does to take him, but he'll always get to like the right ending that he wants. Whereas Red Hood, you can tell in this book, for me, he comes over as young and immature and just literally rebelling against his parents.
yeah, he's very angry in this book, and it's a shame because, I mean, I'm a massive Jason Todd fan. I love the Red Outlaws series, where he grew up quite well in that. You know, he grew up to rely on his team and to care for his team. So to see him now be so erratic and just so thoughtless, because, I mean, he knows what happens to people on Joker gas. He knows if he raises his heart rate too much, the guy's going to die. And just because he was from a halfway house doesn't mean it doesn't mean he deserves to die, does it?
No, not at all, not at all. Which is kind of why I was like, Jason Todd, like he's got no thought process. He's literally just an outlaw.
Blinkers on and he sees the Joker, and that's it. He's going for it. He wants to put
and he does, and I think he does that in any way possible. And then obviously Batman's dealing with that. Then it cuts to the scene where there's an Ace Chemical tanker driving along. It smacks the raccoon.
Oh, did it not? I thought it missed it. Did it hit it?
No, I think it.
I think it gets away. No, it just runs out the way.
I thought he hit it because that's why the Joker put his hand out as if to say sorry.
No, he's turning. That's the right turn signal. He's turning right.
All right, mate. Okay.
He's playing truck driver. He's even got the baseball cap on, so he's doing the right. He's turning right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. I'll give you that one. That's all right. That's fine. I still reckon he killed the raccoon, though.
No.
I reckon he did. I reckon he killed the raccoon.
And we get our first look at two of the Jokers.
We get a look at first two of the Jokers, which obviously ties back to the truck driver, the comedian who killed Barbara Gordon in A Killing Joke.
Yeah, he hasn't changed his clothes.
No.
He likes that look.
Yeah. But then he's been wearing that for 30 years.
Well, I don't think it's been 30 years. Barbara's still only in her 20s, isn't she?
Yeah. So he's going to be stinking a bit.
Yeah.
And then you've got Large Marge trucking.
Yeah.
I do think it's great how they all look alike, like how they all look the same but different.
Yeah, they've got the iconic Joker look that, like, one of each of the iconic Joker looks, but they all are the Joker.
And then obviously we go to the next page, and the artwork in this story is second to none. Like, Faybook has done absolutely amazing job. Like, what's his name? I think Jeff Johns they've outdone themselves, but there's certain bits in it, as we've noticed as we've been reading it, just don't make sense.
Yeah. Like,
if you're going to focus on the outlaw, you know that he's erratic, you know that he does that, but in a situation like that, he's going to be controlled. He's got no reason to. He wants to get to the end game, and he needs to be controlled about it. Like, smashing the hell out of someone on the back of the gurney is not going to get him what he wants.
No, he's going to end up killing them, and he knows this because he's dealt with people who have been infected by the Joker toxin. So when Batman's like, his heart rate's raising, Jason knows this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's
and you know,
not smarter than this book gives him credit for.
That was my main thing. Like, why would you not? That was one of the main things. Why would you not make him out to be the character that he is, and portray him as something else?
Yeah,
this is what I couldn't understand. And the Grey Man's made a good point. The Joker signals properly whilst driving. He's not all bad then. Well, he is, because he just killed a raccoon. Me and Shane are going to argue about this, but he definitely killed a raccoon. I think he's putting his hand out to say, "Sorry, mate, I've just killed you," and he turns right. I think it's got a double meaning. I definitely killed the raccoon.
Back to Jason. I think what they've done is, as well, I think what they've done with Jason is made him so erratic so that what he does at the end makes sense. Yeah. Because if you make him level-headed, then the ending wouldn't make sense. Yeah.
And am I the only one thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, but this image here of the Joker just reminds me of the 1989 Batman Jack Nicholson Joker.
Yes, 100%. That's who I see when I see that one. I see Jack Nicholson.
Like, now you look at it, I'm like, that is Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, 100%. That's who I see.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just think that's great.
On purpose. Yeah, you can't do that by accident.
I think it had to be. And then, right, so this is getting to the my main point of this comic, right? This really irked me because I didn't get it. I thought it was ridiculous. So they're on the hunt for the Joker. They go to the Gotham Aquarium. They're walking through this massive, massive fish tank. And then they're like,
Batman does his Care Bear stare.
yes, he does his Care Bear stare where he just literally shines his light from his chest.
He's got a bat signal on his chest. I mean, oh my God, what?
I just love it. I said, what is it? Jason turns around. What's clear is that one bat light is going to alert anyone in here to us.
Yes. I mean, what?
And
why wouldn't he just pull out a torch from his utility belt? Why would you have a big shoot me here target on your chest?
I know. And right, so they're walking past a massive fish tank, right? And then all of a sudden it's like the deep blue sea. You see the piranhas and you see this giant shark coming towards you. And then there he is, the megalodon with on laughing gas. So they're staring at it. Jason takes off his head and like, what the hell is this? Like, this is ridiculous. So obviously the fish tank is full of water. We all know that. The shark needs to survive in water. Then obviously Batman and the Red Hood turn around and they're met by Gaggy and his bloody court jesters of meddling goons.
I love
they kick off. What is it? Is it Pow, Biff and Oof or something in it?
It's all the sound effects from the comic books. It's fantastic.
Yeah, old school comic books. And I think if Red Hood turns around and says, yeah, this is original, or great names or something. But so we see, right, so there's 2 bullets that go over Batman's head. They smash into the glass. Yep. Then there's another 2 bullets on the bottom that go past Batman's shoulders. Yep. So that's 4 shots into the glass. Yeah.
Yep.
Then we see Gaggy shoots another one. Or one of them shoots another one and it goes over Batgirl's head. So we don't know if that hits the glass. But then Gaggy wants Red Hood. He wants to take the shit out on him. He goes towards Red Hood. Red Hood turns round, shoots, misses him. It goes into the glass. So that's 5 shots into the glass. And all of a sudden, Gaggy turns around and is like, oh no. And you know what's going to happen. The shark comes out, grabs the smallest one in the room, but where's all the water gone? Like, where is all the water that was in that fish tank?
It's not water. It's the Ace Chemicals chemical, and it goes down the drain. Yeah,
but that's
it is an awful lot. It should have filled the room before it went down the drain, unless they have massive drains for this situation, like big.
And that's what I'm saying. That would have been great, because if it had all come out, I would have loved to see a scene where they're all fighting underwater. Battling off the piranhas and stuff, instead of the shark comes out, there's a little bit of a splash, and then that's it. Like, that's a seriously quick drainage system. Seriously quick.
That's Gotham Aquarium for you. It must happen a lot.
And this is what wound me up. There's so many amazing points in this comic, and then something like that gets past.
Yeah, like, it's the niggity bits, isn't it? The little bits.
It is.
Like,
and then the Joker shows up with a fishbowl.
Yeah, and he catches a couple of the piranha.
I'm like, come on, man. But that's me reading this comic, being a critic, reading it, thinking I'm expecting so much from it. 4 or 5 pages ago, I found it great. Then I flip over to this. The Megalodon's smashed out. Instead of eating 3 or 4 people, it's ended up eating the smallest one in the room. And yet there's no trail of anything. Like, the water has literally just evaporated and gone into nothing. And fair enough, it might be the Ace chemical gas that's evaporated and stuff, but it's kind of, there's no residue on nothing. There's a bit of it on the floor, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been solved quite easily if they'd had everyone, as soon as that glass was smashing, Batman, Robin, and Batman, Red Hood, and Batgirl go into another room and slam the door, and then you see that fill of water. So they could have sorted that, rather than have them still standing there with all this lack.
Well, do you know what? It could have even been where Batman puts on, you know, where he swims underwater and he puts on the breather.
Yeah.
It could have just been as simple as that. He just, in one image, is seen putting on the breather and just floating, and then it just drains down.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Obviously, I'm not a comic book designer, I'm not a comic book writer and stuff, but it's something like that that would have worked.
See, that's the thing. When you write a book as good as this, those are the things you notice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword, where you're so good at something, we notice when you make tiny little mistakes.
Yeah.
Because there are so few of them in the book, we notice them more.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then obviously the Joker appears. He throws the piranhas at Red Hood. Red Hood deals with it.
Well,
Biff,
no,
bam.
Red Hood doesn't, does he? He gets the upper hand on Red Hood.
Yes, he does. Yeah, no, he smashes his head into the ground. That's
Yeah.
it. His mask comes off. Batman gives him a 1-2 jab, punches him, boom, falls onto the ground. I love this. This was a great battle scene. This was great. The shark's still there laughing. And then see yet again, Jason Todd, Red Hood flips out again, and he's like, I want to get my few kicks in, and starts kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah, gives him a kicking on the floor.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, I think we've got you cornered, number 2. So obviously number 1 was in the ambulance. This is number 2. That is right, isn't it? Yeah, because Jim Gordon says...
No, this is number 1.
That's it. That's the flip back where it goes, I think we've got you cornered, number 2. Yeah,
they've got number 2 somewhere.
They've got number 2 somewhere.
Number 2 will be the Killing Joker.
Yes.
Yeah. And then this fantastic page. I was half expecting them to pull out rubber chickens and Buzz.
Oh, that would have been great. Or the fish that's on one of the covers.
Like the scene from The Mask where they're going through his pockets and they're just pulling out.
They just kept pulling out loads of stuff.
Yeah.
That would have been great. But this for me, this was a really intense scene. Like, I really, really did like this. The way that the cards fall out and they smash, and obviously you know that they're the blades. And that the way that Joker is just, this for me was a direct flashback to when Red Hood was kidnapped and held hostage and tortured by the Joker. Yeah. And I think he gets into Red Hood's psyche here, and he kind of just says certain things that leave a dent in his brain. Like, I think one of them was, oh, brave little boy, you frighten me. And it was just certain things that he said was just getting into it. And I think
the worst thing that he says, and it's it's the thing that the Joker says that pushes Jason over the top, is when he recites what Jason said to him when he was beating him.
Yeah.
When he begged him to stop, and he said, I'll do anything. I'll be your Robin.
I'll be your Robin.
I mean, I've got goosebumps right now.
Yeah, when I heard, I was like, oh, yeah, that was...
And I mean, Jason was a kid. He was a kid, so he would beg and plead with this crazy person. He would offer him anything to stop him. Yeah. But the fact that the Joker now sees that he has turned into his Robin, I think that is the moment that Jason's like, yeah, you're done.
Yeah. And then obviously, click, bang.
Barbara tries to, I say tries in quotation marks, because then Jason does say to her,
he says, when was the last time you missed?
Yep, that's right. And
it's kind of like, did you mean to do that, or did you actually want the Joker dead as much as I did, but you didn't have the balls to do it yourself?
Yeah.
After everything he did to her. Yeah.
As long as you made it look like you tried to stop me, that was good enough for you.
Yeah, I thought that was great, because I honestly think she wants the Joker dead as much as anyone. She wants one of the Jokers dead for everything he's done to her. But she just didn't, she hasn't got that darkness inside of her, or she doesn't know how to activate it as much as the Red Hood does. And the Red Hood was pushed over a limit. He ain't coming back from this, whereas I think Red Hood is able to come back from this. I think if he's the one of the Bat family that could deal with this and hide it, that's him. I don't think Batgirl would be able to deal with that. I think it would get the better of her, and she would just lose her shit.
Yeah, I don't think she could ever cross the line. She is very much on Batman's page like that. But I'm wondering, because this is Jason's Joker. This is the one that beat him. When Barbara comes face to face with her Joker, I'm wondering if she's going to take it a step too far and not go over the line and kill him, but maybe paralyze him as a parallel to what he did to her.
Yeah, that would be good.
Purpose. She might knock him through a window. She might knock him onto something. But I mean, this looks like the Joker standing over Jason Todd's body right now.
Very much so, yeah. It's exactly the same thing.
Parallels for each of them. Could Barbara, like I say, could she paralyze her Joker?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be quite an interesting way to go.
I mean, it was, I mean, I've got to say, I loved it. I did love it. And it's just like, I was reading that comic. I had such high hopes for it, and I really, really got into it. It's just them stupid little points, I think, just need to be ironed out. And my one thing is that I said to my wife, I'm really looking forward to this the free Jokers, Batman, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, Batman can't even deal with one Joker. How is he going to deal with three? And then within the first half of the comic, one's been captured and one of them's dead.
Yeah.
But yet it's taken Batman God knows how long, and he's never killed a Joker before. So it's kind of like, are they actual Jokers, or are they people that have been brainwashed to thinking they're the Joker? And that's kind of the angle that I'm going down for this comic.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, Batman catches the Joker all the time. He just gets away.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pretty much grab any issue with the Joker on the cover, and it'll end with him going to Arkham. You know, Batman will take him to Arkham, he'll escape. Batman will take him to Arkham, he'll escape. It's just how it goes. So he's caught him so many times. So I don't think the fact that one of them's now dead is a slight on Batman not being able to do his job all these years, because Batman would never kill the Joker anyway. There's I mean, did he kill him in The Killing Joke? We don't know how that
Who
ended.
knows?
That's up to interpretation, isn't it? It's how you want the book to end.
Yeah.
So he'll never kill, but when he finds out Jason's killed, he'll have a go at Jason, but he'll just get over it. As long as he's got a Joker to go up against.
And my question for you is, are you going to read every issue as it comes out, or are you going to wait for the trade paperback to come out in November?
Well, I did want to wait. I wanted to wait and read all of them together, but I knew I was going to get spoiled, because you can't look anywhere on social media now without splash pages of this, that, and the other. Honestly,
the grey man, Joker isn't a person, it's a virus that travels from person to person, calling it now. Do you know, honestly, I'm not being funny, I think he's actually onto something here, because there's so many different personas of the Joker. So in The Killing Joke, what's his name? The who plays in The Killing Joke, the actual main character of the Joker, what is his name? He's
Jack Napier.
Jack Napier, yeah.
Oh no, in The Killing Joke, he's not named in The Killing Joke, is he? I don't think the Joker. No, we don't get his name in The Killing Joke, I don't think.
No, we don't. We just find out that he's a comedian. He's a foul comedian, isn't he?
And he had a pregnant girlfriend. And
yes, Jack Napier is in Batman 89, isn't he? That's Jack Napier. Yeah, and then obviously
that's the name they use now for things.
Like Arthur Fleck. Arthur Fleck is the Joker.
Joker,
Joker, that's it. Alan Carr's. So, you got the three Jokers: Jimmy Carr, Alan Carr, and Joe Carr. Yeah, I've called it, Grey Man.
Jimmy's got the best laugh.
Jimmy's got the best laugh. Alan Carr's got the best teeth, and Joe Carr's got the best hair. But I think I'm gonna have to read it as it comes out, because, as you mentioned, social media and Twitter and everything, it's all over it all the time.
Yeah,
so it's very hard to stay off it.
I can't even go weekend. Sometimes I want to read my comics on the weekend, but you have to read them on a Wednesday, because by the weekend I've had half of them spoiled. Because
and especially with DC coming out on a Tuesday now.
Yeah.
Fake book day. It's just, I think that's what people are calling it. They're calling it fake new comic book day.
Why?
Because
it doesn't affect you in any way. If you go to the comic book shop on a Wednesday, your DC comics are going to be there. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
They're going to be there. It's not like they're bringing it out on a Thursday so if they did that, that would be a real
then that
would be a real.
Joe Carr used to drum in my band. That's cool.
You know, Tuesday's fine. If you go on a Wednesday, they're going to be there.
Yeah, and then with all the digital content anyway, it's so easy to get hold of now.
Yeah.
But I think overall, the Joker, the three Jokers, I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10, because
really
do you know what, I was so excited about it, and even after reading that, I'm gonna want to watch and read A Killing Joke again, because there's got to be something more in that ties to that. Do you know what I mean? Like I did like it. I've read it twice again, and I'm still irked by the same things that we've just mentioned.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying.
I think those, like I say, those minor things are so noticeable because the rest of the book is so good. For me, I absolutely loved it.
The artwork was insane. The artwork was incredible.
The faces are amazing.
It really. I haven't really heard too much of Joe Faberg. I know he did another Batman. I can't remember what it was called, but he's done another Batman comic, and the artwork again on that was sensational.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look him up and see what other stuff he's got out there, because I'm gonna have to pick some stuff up. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, but
I do have one question about the continuity. Like, where is this set?
Because where is this happening? Yeah.
Barbara's in her New 52 costume.
Yep.
Red Hood's in his Rebirth costume with the So,
because in his Red Hood Outlaw costume, it's kind of like just across the face.
Yeah.
So he's in, and then Batman, I think, is. Yeah, I see that. That's another thing. No, he's not.
He's not in his pants, is he? He's in his New 52 costume.
Yeah.
So it's got to be set New 52 timeline before Rebirth.
Yeah.
So after the Morbius chair, it's got to be set.
Yes. It'd be interesting to find out how. I honestly, I think I read somewhere that this was set 30 years after A Killing Joke.
But it can't be. Barbara's not 50, is she?
Well, this is what I think.
You're going by Batgirl.
Flicks and Comics has just picked up 3 Jokers today. Oh. If you've just picked up 3 Jokers today, you are in for a treat, but I would love to know what you thought of it. If you're literally just joining in at the right time, because we did give quite a lot of spoilers away. We went through it. So, Jojo, I'm sorry if you did catch some of the spoilers, but I'd love to know. Just drop me a message on Instagram or in the comments section below. I'd love to know what you thought about it. Because even though it was a sensational comic, there were things in it that I think could have been done better. But as Shane said, I think because it was such an outstanding comic, these little niggly bits are noticed more than they would be if it was just a standard okay comic.
Yeah.
And one thing I do like about it is that it's a thicker comic. It's kind of like your magazine, like your DC Black Label, Damned, Harley type of covers.
Yeah.
It's like the magazine print, which is really good. I'm just gutted that it's going to cost me about £50 every time a book comes out, because there's about 5 or 6 covers.
I know.
And if you start going down the variant covers of like the neon green and the black and white one.
Oh, the 1 in 25 and the 1 in 50. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, apparently, the one at the end of this comic with the black and white is a 1 in 450.
That's not fair, though. That's not fair for comic shops, especially smaller comic shops. They're not going to be buying 450 comics just to get one variant.
So she didn't catch any of the spoilers. I'm so thankful for that, because I'm doing this. This is the second time reviewing this comic in one day. I was up at 4 o'clock with John's Comics with Kids, and on White Whale Comics at 4 o'clock this morning. And I'm so glad that you didn't get any spoilers. So I'm really glad with that. I'm really interested to find out what happens. The Grey Man is saying the raccoon may not be dead.
No raccoons were harmed in the making of this book.
But do you know what it is? Grey Man, I'd love to know if this is a comic you'd read, because this is a talking point. Like someone posted a picture of it on Instagram earlier, and I was just like, yeah, I thought it was okay. And he was like, what do you mean you thought it was okay? Well, what was wrong with it? Please tell me. So I listed it all, and then he didn't reply. And I'm like, well,
don't ask if you don't want to know.
Don't ask. I'm trying to create like a talkative thing going forward, and you don't even want to talk about it. So I was like, okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think in 30 years this will be the Killing Joke of our generation?
No.
No.
I really don't know.
Oh, that's a shame. I mean, I just don't think we're not getting those kinds of books anymore, are we? We're not getting that quality anymore.
No. But I don't think it will be.
I think I think I don't think it would ever live up to everyone's expectations, because everyone has their own idea of what the Joker history and story should be and the origin. So you're never going to please everyone. And I think all they can do is give their idea and their story, and just hope that fans like it enough to keep buying it. And I'm definitely getting issue 2.
I'm going to get issue. I'm 100%. I'm going to get issue 2, and I'm definitely going to read it. But I just don't think it's going to stand the test of time. I think people. Say that again.
What can it do for you in the next 2 issues to make you change your mind? What can what would they have to do?
There's going to have to be a confrontation of all confrontations between Batman and the Joker, like it did in The Killing Joke. At the amusement part where Batman is there with the Joker, that is the standout image. Did he kill the Joker or not? That is, when you say to anyone at The Killing Joke, what is the standout image? 9 times out of 10, people will turn around and say, did he kill the Joker or not? They both ended up laughing. Did he do what he's always set out in his mind not to do? And unless this comic does something like that, or literally wows us and you're like, wow, I did not see that coming. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I'm torn between absolutely loving it and forgetting about all the niggly bits and just reading it as a comic enthusiast, not being a critic, not being a reviewer, and just enjoying the artwork and the story. But then there's another part of me saying, I know the potential of this comic. I know how amazing it can be, and it's not there yet. Like, this was the most hyped up comic of week 35. It was meant to come out in week 32.
I mean, we've been hearing about this for months, haven't we?
Exactly. It was meant to come out, I think it was meant to come out in week 28 originally. Then it got pushed back to week 32, and now we're on week 35. So the atmosphere and everything has been building towards it. And I don't think it lived up to its expectations, if I'm honest, which is why I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
That's absolutely fair. Everyone interprets things different, don't they? So that's the great thing about comic books.
I'm probably going to read it again and be like, yeah, okay. I sometimes, like, something like that, so intricate and so well thought out, it deserves to be flawless. Thank you, Jojo, for tuning in. It's literally gone on 51 minutes longer than I actually thought it would, considering I'm kind of dead on my feet. Gonna hop out now, so you guys can see.
We should have just done the 3 Jokers.
We should have just done, because we just done that for 55 minutes. But it's been absolutely sensational having you on, dude. Honestly,
it's been great to talk comics with someone. Thank you.
Mate, I will talk comics until I'm blue in the face, or until I fall flat on my face.
Which will be in about 7 minutes if you don't have. I reckon
it's going to be about 7 minutes. But honestly, it's been great. I enjoy the content you put out on Instagram. I enjoy the content you put out on YouTube. You are a down-to-earth guy. It's been absolutely a pleasure of mine having you on the show. Maybe one day we might be able to catch a coffee while we're both in a place and space, and we can sit down and talk about book number 2 of the 3 Jokers, and I can depress you a lot more and let you know
about dead raccoons.
About that raccoon's dead. I'm telling you now, Shane, that raccoon is dead.
Not dead.
Right. Flicks and Comics, that is the only spoiler I'm giving you. The raccoon dies. The hill I'm going
to die on. That raccoon is not dead.
The raccoon dies a lonely death. Right? That's all I'm saying. But Shane, it's been absolutely sensational having you on, mate. Thank you so much. Thanks for the people posting comments in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know in the comments section below what you think about this comic. Are you as disappointed as I was, around about 7 or a 10, or was you as enthusiastic and loved it as much as it rightly deserved, like Shane on my right left? There we go, one of them. But it's been absolutely amazing. I will see you soon, and Shane, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Bye-bye.